Hello and welcome to the channel. So let's continue with our path through the stock market and let's focus on the facts showing that the bubble in the stock market is imploding. As I showed in previous videos, that the Buffett indicators hits the 211% level, indicating that the stocks are hugely overvalued. So anyone still long the market is playing with fire as a market crash is looming and about to happen by the rise of the 10-year yield. We saw on the beginning of the year that the bond market had its worst start in the year, and we know that the bond market is a leading indicator as we saw a massive sell-off in bonds and the Fed expectation to rise interest are going higher and higher. After we did the analysis of the last employment data and results as well as the rise in wage and hourly earning, those facts are warning to the deep buyer that they may end up holding the bags for a long time. So buying stocks now is like catching a falling knife because this is not the bottom yet. We might see a rally soon due to the technicals and cooked CPI numbers. But be sure the pain will resume again. So let's look at some example. Rivian, an electrical automobile company, lost $75 billion in market cap since its IPO. The company is without a product and with a valuation superior to GM, General Motors and Ford combined. That's so crazy. So Rivian is getting a haircut. ARK Invest also is getting a nice haircut. Also, the stocks in the ARK Invest fund are at their lower level, meaning that bears are piling in, giving more insult to injury in Cathy Wood ARK Invest, with bets against the fund reaching lower and lower levels. Also, most of the last year IPOs are down big. Some of the specs as well are being whacked. For example, ATIP and ME. So for example, short trade can be worth it at this time. Let's take ARK Invest. If you want to short ARK Invest, must short in increment each time after the rip because the fund is already in a bear market. Meaning if the name pops higher, do wait for a pullback signal and then short it, fade the rip and place another short, etc. Biotech name also getting a haircut, so it's a good target. Crypto also are getting a nice haircut, example BTC and ETH. So at this moment, if anyone is investing in stock market hoping for a short squeeze, now he knows that he or she has been scammed. So my advice for you, if you see guys on YouTube promoting shitty companies and telling you to hold for the short squeeze, don't fall for them. So where the money is moving now is going to buy banks and financial ETFs such as XLF and KRE regional banks, because when interest rates go higher the banks do very well, but this depends of the economy that should be healthy with a steep yield curve. That means the 30-year yield must be higher than the 10-year yield, and the 10-year yield must be higher than the 5 years yield. For example, if the 5 years yield is steeper than the 10 years yield, that's bad, not good for financial stocks and ETF. What else working now? Value stocks, where we must look at the P ratio, the price to sell ratio, No, this ratio they must be low. Pay close attention to their balance sheet. They must have a good balance sheet and producing a lot of free cash flow. With that being said, let's start with the stock market coverage. Let's start with the market performance. The Dow Jones is up 183.15 points, or an improvement by 0.51%. The Nasdaq is up 210.62 points, or an improvement by 1.41%. The S&P 500 gained 42.78 point, or an improvement by 0.92%. Must pay attention to the volume bars that didn't exceed the one. That means that the relative volume is low. We conclude that these movements are not decisive. Let's go to the heat map. We see a lot of green on the map with technology improving, communication service, Facebook with a gain of 1.92%, consumer cyclical as well is doing okay, financial is okay, entertainment, Disney, Netflix, and this improvement is due to the oversold days we had since the beginning of the new year. So here is like some short covering. We will see if this rally will resume for a few more days, or the market will come back to the selling territory. This will depends of the Bureau of Statistics and how cold or hot will be the CPI numbers. Let's take a look at the futures. Let's see the energy sector. West Texas Intermediate 81.86 for a barrel. Crude oil Brent 84.23 for a barrel. For soft, coca, cotton, orange juice, coffee, lumber, sugar, all of them on the green side. So basically we understand now the money, the excess of money start chasing commodity, and typically energy and softs, which are inflationary choices. Let's continue with the basic material. Gold on the flat line, silver is down by 0.38%, platinum is down by 0.69%, copper is on the green side with gains of 1.74%. That's due to the pullback in the dollar. Palladium is down by almost 1%. Live cattle and feeders are gaining, while lean hogs are down by 0.70%. Let's go to grain. We saw gains in soybean oils, rough rice, oats, and losses in canola. Let's continue with the chart analysis, and let's start with the SPY. We see the SPY rallied all the way up to the now resistance of 470. Basically this run up is an anticipation on the CPI number that will be released, and basically that it will be cooked cold. That will give a temporary relief on the high multiple names and the growth stocks. Same thing on the Qs. We see that the Qs that didn't reach the resistance of 397. This is due to the fact that the Nasdaq is heavily on technology, and not all the technology stocks were playing and gaining in momentum, such as the big chips, for example Google, Facebook, Microsoft, this kind of names. So, and it's kind of building another resistance. So let's materialize that with a line on the graph. Here you go for this level, and that's the level of 386. Let's move on to the IWM. The Russell 2000 Small Caps ETF has the same pattern such as the Qs. We saw a rally, but it's not that strong, and the volume participating in this rally is not that important, but we can expect that this rally will resume during the next few days to the effect of the CPI numbers. Let's take a look at the VIX for our chart. We see that the VIX is cooling down, going back to the $18 level. We see on the top and on the MACD, and the indicator showing a crawling down, as well as the RSI. So as we said, we will be expecting running on the SPY S&P 500. The Dixie same thing, is playing to the is going to the downside. Is building a bear flag. That's why we saw the copper is jumping higher. Let's take a look at the gold. The gold is building a bull flag. Now we are in a phase of consolidation, and this is because of the 10-year yield crossed the support of 177 and going to meet the resistance of 1.7%. So when we have a pull down in the 10-year with a decline on the dollar, we always see a pop up in gold. So in my opinion, this bull flag will play to the upside, to the famous resistance of 1834, and from there we will see which direction gold will take. Let's take a look at individual stocks. So Apple is running, building momentum, and we see that the MACD is bottoming and start its crawling upwards. Same thing on the RSI. It did reach an overbought location, now is crawling upwards. So I see that Apple will continue to the upside. Tesla, same thing. After the fact, they did reach the resistance, the support of 994. They bounce back and they are crawling upwards. We see that the MACD indicators lines are flattening. We will see how Tesla will trade during this couple of days, and we will conclude if Tesla will keep on with the upward momentum, or we will be on a consolidation phase around these levels. AMC, as we from the time they crossed the support of 26, they are building bear flags and they are consolidating on lower levels. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Let's change the time frame to daily time frame. We see here the huge bear flag and consolidation around the support of the 42,000. So in my opinion, more pain to come to Bitcoin and in general to cryptocurrency. Finally, what we have on the economic news for Wednesday, January the 12th, the most important things is the CPI number. As we explained during the video, this depends of the numbers that the statistic bureau will give out. If it will be a cool number that is month to month lower, this will reinforce that the narrative of the fact that inflation is temporary and is cooling down, and that will give the green light for the Nasdaq and the high multiple names to resume their rallying to the upside. That's all what I have for you today. Thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and we will speak soon. If you find what presented on this channel helpful, like and subscribe to improve the algorithm, and follow me on social media.